Breaking news alert.
And I'm not trying to pester you.
That breaking news just within the past 20 minutes. The man who has just been charged with murdering his pregnant niece walked by our cameras speaking with News 4 Jax reporter Vic Micolucci.
We want to hear your side of the story. Where's Iyana? Now's your chance. Where's Iyana?
Any questions, you could talk to my lawyer.
Who's your lawyer?
Christine Michelle.
Okay, well...
This is a major development in the months-long search for 16-year-old Terry Parker High School student Iyana Sawyer. 33-year-old Johnathan Quiles maintains he had nothing to do with her disappearance. Investigators say he also impregnated Sawyer, and he is charged with the murder of her unborn child as well.
News 4 Jax reporter Corley Peel is joining us live with what Quiles just said moments ago. Corley.
Sawyer's family attorney tells me that they have been anxiously waiting for this day, for the day that Quiles would be charged with murder. And I want to get right to that video of my colleague Vic Micolucci confronting Quiles as he was leaving the police station and on his way to jail. Listen to what he has to say.
We want to hear your side of the story. Where's Iyana? Now's your chance. Where's Iyana?
Any questions, you could talk to my lawyer.
Who's your lawyer?
Christine Michelle.
Okay, well, do you have details about where she is?
I can't discuss anything at this time.
Are you telling the detectives, the investigators?
I can't discuss anything at this time.
Did you impregnate her?
Can't discuss anything at this time.
What about a message for her family? They're obviously going through hell right now. She's missing. Nobody knows where she is.
I can't discuss anything. Any questions, you could go ahead and contact my lawyer. She'll be more than happy to answer any questions you guys got.
Are you forthcoming with everybody?
Again, I have no comment.
Then I'm not trying to pester you.
Quiles is accused of getting Sawyer pregnant, who was 5 months along when police say she disappeared in December. Sawyer's family members say they've been told Sawyer died on December 19th, the day she never made it home from school. Quiles has been in jail since January, but on an unrelated sexual battery charge involving a different victim who was also a relative. Despite weeks of searching this landfill in the Baldwin area seen here through Sky4, Sawyer's body hasn't been found. The attorney for Sawyer's family, John Phillips, released a statement. It reads in part, "It's been months of rumors and speculation, hoping she'd come home, and then the landfill searches, and the worst days a family could ever live through. They still do not have the answers they seek because too many people associated with this case are talking about the case, and justice starts with a conviction." Now, according to Sawyer's family attorney, the family has asked for prayers and peace and privacy during this time. They say they are thankful from the service, from the state attorney's office and JSO. Reporting live, Corley Peel, Channel 4, the local station.
8/21/2018, 3:22. I don't like nobody hurting you but me.
And the next entry?
8/22/2018, 12:02. I'm sorry. I forgot you're carrying our child and you're oversensitive. I do love you very much and don't want you to keep going through this drama. But we have plans, and if you act off of your emotions, you will hinder all of our plans in the future. It's very hard to see it now, but it's the truth.
And the next entry?
8/22/2018, 2 o'clock. The day Uncle John told you that Maya liked Ken, they were already dating, and the very next day was the first day that they met up, they had sex, and then on his birthday they had sex.
And the next entry?
8/22/2018, 4:29. You know what I'm talking about, but you want to play dumb. It's cool. Our whole relationship, all that you lied about to me, all of it, because I know all of the stuff you think I don't. Let's try this again.
The next entry?
8/22/2018, 4:29. Okay, then I pray whenever you get ready to tell me the truth, you will, and see how much further we will go. But until then, this is what it is.
And the next entry?
Okay. 8/23/2018, 3:13. I lied about not liking Maya and wanting to do things with her. I started the whole thing. I told you that I was only talking to you, but I was also talking to Maya. The only reason we didn't do it more than once was because she found out that we were doing things and she didn't want nothing to do with me. I did kiss her down there once only. That was the same day we did it. I told you things to like me more, and when I told you that I wanted you to see our other people, I was lying. %2C. I talked to Mai about you and our problems all of the time. %2C. At first, I told you I was going to give you a baby to keep. I wasn't being serious, but once I seen how happy you were, I decided to give you 2 once you get older. After I found out about you and the boy, I was going to sex your sister to hurt you like you hurt me, but she didn't want to, so it never happened. I told you I had cameras up in the house. It not true. I know the truth from something else, which I'm not going to say. I get info from your mom and aunts about you and tell them things so you won't be with nobody else. %2C. I said I'm not bothered by your actions anymore, but that's far from the truth. I hate when you are looking at other people. %2C. I hate when you talk to other people. %2C. I have your friends. %2C. Neighbors. I hate that you still talk to that boy. I hate that you talk to other people on your social network, Instagram, Snapchat, and some other things you have. %2C. I act like I have hacked your phone and I don't know what's going.
And the next entry?
8/23/2018, 3:18. I stopped wanting Maya after she turned me down the last time I got it in my head that it's not going to happen. She said, just laid there, say no, and she was much looser than you.
Okay, and the next entry?
8/23/2018, 10:30. You see, what you don't get is I don't give a fuck about what Maya do. I only care about what you do. And like I said in my truth letter to you, I would tell you aunt and mom about things so you...
Be careful, and your mom.
I would tell you aunt and your mom about things so you could only be with me. But you might only read the Maya part and disregard the rest.
And the next entry?
8/24/2018, 12:54. That's how it should be. If Jaco comes at you in a inappropriate way, you should tell me ASAP so I can deal with it right away. And if I question him in front of you, you should be straightforward with it all so he knows you're off limits.
And the next entry?
8/25/2018, 7/11, and it appears to be another picture.
And can you describe what we're looking at?
It is another screenshot of a text message from Uncle John.
And could you just read the bubbles, please?
So, yes. Yeah, text your aunt too, love. What's wrong, baby? Snap me. Yeah. Talk to me. Why are you crying? Hello. WTF, yeah. What happened from when we was talking to now? Are you serious right now? Okay then, GN, I love you. And then at the bottom you can make out that it says, I knocked out.
And the next entry?
8/26/2018, 11/19. LOL, you will be my best friend. Went, you're pregnant. I'll cook for you until you can't eat no more.
And the next entry?
8/27/2018, 101. Because I want to take care of you.
And the next entry?
8/27/2018, 10:29. I was on the roof and you told me to see if the chimney was connected to the other apartment so you could talk to that boy. I said, yeah, and you started to make plans to change your school schedule so you can meet up with him and go to a hotel. I started to cry and then I woke up.
And the next entry?
8/28/2018, 1:13. Yeah, I can hear it now. If a fire, Yaya, %2C, where Jaco, %2C, in my pants, Yaya, you want to put it out? I can't.
The next entry?
8/28/2018, 12:29. I'm Nim being a B. I just want you to be okay, and I want to know where I stand with you so I'm not just surprised later that you've been with someone else and or you are talking to someone else. That's what I mean. I'd rather you just tell me up front so I can be prepared.
And the next entry?
8/29/2018, 12:10. I've been kicked down there so many
Detective Adam, just take your time, okay? Make sure you're reading word.
Yes,
exact
ma'am.
word. Just take your time.
I've been kicked down there so much, I'm not sure how you even pregnant.
How you're even pregnant.
How you're even pregnant.
Thank you. The next entry?
8/29/2018, 5:59. It's a picture.
And can you describe it, please?
It is a screenshot of a photograph of two people having sex, and it says favorite position.
And the next entry?
9/2/2018 at 2:03. Says, ha ja 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 ja. First off, that boy don't know how to fight, %2C. 2, I've been fighting all of my life. I can take hits there. I could stand there and let him punch me and it would have no effect. On me at all. Although I look out of shape, I'm very seasoned. Just 2 days ago, I beat the shit out of someone. I believe I'm going to be okay. You see, I told him to wait until everyone leaves. Not for me, it's so when I knock him on his ass, his pride won't be too messed up. The goal is not to defeat him, it's just to teach him to respect his place.
And the next entry?
9/3/2018, 11:51. That's what your slow ass should have said from the fucking jump.
And the next entry?
9/3/2018, 11:52. Because it was a simple question that you seem to had a problem answering it. It's cool though. I'm not going to bother you none. I'll talk to you tomorrow, GN.
And the next entry?
9/3/2018, 11:52. Oh, so you're not going to fuck him. You'll just wait for me. That's what you meant.
And the next entry?
9/4/2018, 9:27. I'm very aggravated right now. I'm going to hit you later.
And the next entry?
9/7/2018, 12:21. Yeah, so I need you to be like 100% with me at all times. I'm just so in love with you. I'll kill you and cry.
And the next entry?
9/17/2018, 1:34. No, it seems like you the one that wants that, but you don't want to hurt my feelings, so you rather start up your bullshit again so I can leave you. Look, I don't have time for all of your little games. You like to play like I'm stupid and don't see what the fuck is going on. I trust you until you start lying to me again. Just like how all of a sudden you back playing your Sims game full time again to the point you don't have time for me no more. I won't be surprised that you don't telk the next.
And don't send us the N-word?
Yes, it's the N-word.
Okay, go ahead.
The same thing you tell me just so you do fuck up. Like the name you keep saying when we fucking, when you about to come and catch yourself.
And the next message?
9/17/2018 at 1:43. I do you just keep lying to me? Then you try to make it as if I'm the one going behind your back. With who though? I don't fuck with your sister. I don't talk to nobody but your ass. I'm just tired of your games. I'm getting getting very old sometimes. I wish I wasn't so deep in love with you. Okay, I won't keep talking all of the bullshit you give me.
And the next entry?
9/17/2018 at 1:44. I expect you to like other people, but you can't even admit that. You're 16 and H all of the time. Why wouldn't you? But the fact that you just can't be real about it is sickening to me.
And the next entry?
9/17/2018 at 1:49. Why would she lie about deleting me on Snapchat? That's so stupid, right? You don't be even making sense, %2C. I believe when you said you went to your counselor's office to change your classes, but then you started with all the other bullshit that makes me question your story. But you have it all planned out, so I'm going to let you be. If there was a boy I was up into this point, I was trusting that you'll tell me, but I see you back to your old ways again. I hope whoever it is makes you happy, because obviously I can't. While you want to make it seem I'm doing things behind your back, really funny, Iyana, for lying to me. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm not staying with you either, so if you want to take the bus with your new buddy, do that. It will save me gas and me not seeing your face no more.
And the next entry?
9/17/2018 at 4:17. Yeah, so it can be so easy to leave you alone. I'm so in love with you. I push all my instincts to the side and look like the dumbass at the end. Well, you started your lying again.
And the next entry?
9/19/2018, 11:20. I'm sure you won't understand what's my problem, so I'm just not going to let you bother me like you have been anymore, since this seems to be a ongoing problem with you.
And the next entry?
9/25/2018, 3:02. You're stuck with me until you die. I love you way too much to let you go. So you're not going to have.
Jacksonville 911, what's the location of your emergency?
Did not come home from school today, so phone is going straight to Brooklyn. It's not like that. Okay. You have no idea what you.
December 19th, 2018, started out a normal day. IS was a 16-year-old high school student, a sophomore, straight A student at Terry Parker High School here in Jacksonville, Florida. She also went to school with her sister, SS, who was a year younger, in her 9th grade year.
Because Iyana Sawyer and her sister are minors, investigators sometimes refer to them by their initials, IS and SS, to protect their identities.
Her sister was on the bus and she wasn't. I don't understand why she wasn't on the bus.
Did you ask your sister why?
She said she didn't know, and that's not like her. That's not like the you not get together.
When SS calls her mother frantically, stating that IS did not get on the bus, Kimberly Mobley was at work. So she called two of her sisters. One of the sisters called 911 while the other one headed to Terry Parker High School.
Do you think it's foul play
Ma'am, I have no idea. This is out of character for her. Oh. And for me to call you all, something's wrong.
Her family went crazy. They called 911. They called everyone. It was mass chaos because she just disappeared in thin air.
So IS, she was the firstborn. She was extremely close to her mom. She was extremely loyal. She loved being with her family. She wanted to be either a doctor or a lawyer. She was into her scholastics, being the straight A student. However, sadly, at the age of 16, she was carrying a big secret. And that secret was she was pregnant.
Iyana is 5 months pregnant. Though she only recently told her mom, the family supports her, and they've even named her unborn baby Hazel Michelle. All they want is to find Iyana safe and sound.
IS did not attend her last 2 periods of school. Video surveillance showed that she did in fact leave Terry Parker High School at approximately 11 a.m. And we don't know who picked her up because that was outside of camera footage at the time. She has 2 bags. One is full, of course, regular school items such as textbooks, notebooks. And then another bag has a voluminous amount of Victoria's Secret items, a body pillow. The family is left questioning, where is IS?
The consensus between police is that she has left school voluntarily. There was no obvious signs of any force or anything like that.
Our theory of the case is she either ran away and didn't want to be found, or she ran away because her mom wanted to know who the father of the child was. She didn't want to tell, and that led to friction between the two.
The police, they were just trying to do what they could to find her. They did some basic search around the area. They set up the tip line. The family was doing quite a bit. They were looking for anything.
After 2 days of searching, with no sign of Iyana, police change her status from a runaway to a missing person. Then, her mom makes a disturbing discovery.
Her mom was searching through, her room, through her laptop, through her boxes in her closet, anything she could to determine where she may be. She finds this Word document on Iyana's laptop that kind of seemed strange.
How do you get to it? Tell me how do you get to it?
I went there in the recycle bin right here.
The recycle bin?
And then she also got other notes over here on the side. If they asked you for a password, she got some of the notes locked. And she got other stuff that she wrote in here about him too, though.
The fact that Iyana went to such great lengths to keep the documents a secret is as concerning as what she'd written.
It was a couple pages long, and it was a pouring out her heart of this person, Jose, her love for this person, the betrayal of this person.
Iyana's mom has never heard her talk about Jose. Could it be a code name for someone? Could she have run away with this person? The diary entries are dated February and March 2018, almost a year before Iyana disappeared. Around that time, Iyana was in a relationship her mom didn't approve of with an adult neighbor when Iyana was just 15.
There was a next door neighbor who lived across the street from Iyana. He had had a sexual relationship with Iyana, and his name was Kamar Humphrey. I mean, the person that was accused of sexually assaulting her, 9 months earlier is very much someone who I would be looking into very deeply when she goes missing.
Authorities have legitimate cause for concern about Humphrey. In March 2018, at Iyana's mom's insistence, they'd obtained a DNA swab from him for a rape kit. He admitted to having sex with Iyana at least once, and the DNA confirmed it.
Under Florida law, he was listed as a sexual offender because he was over the age of 18 and she was under the age of 16.
The time period that the rape kit was done, that we can confirm there was a sexual relationship, is outside of the time period that she would have conceived. But we have always asked, did that relationship continue on? And we know it went on for months just based on the conversations that she had with friends. He's a viable suspect for the father of her child.
Police ask Humphrey where he was the day Iyana went missing. When he shows proof he was out of town, investigators have to rule him out. But if he's not Jose, who is? That's when a new name comes into the mix: Johnathan Quiles.
She confronts Iyana's sister, and Iyana's sister's the one who says, oh, that's Jose is Uncle John. So Iyana was John's niece by marriage. He was Uncle John to Iyana and to the other siblings as well. They were very close. His wife and him both took care of the kids on a regular basis. They would spend time at their house. John, really charismatic guy. He's very likable. He was a mechanic. He was a handyman. He had a good family life, was working, doing well, married, had a kid, another one on the way at the time.
Iyana's mom knows the two are very close, but if Uncle John, aka Johnathan Quiles, is the Jose in Iyana's diary, did things go too far? Her mom is determined to get to the bottom of whatever is going on. She calls police, and they head over to his house.
Hey, John, what's going on?
This is crazy.
All this just got dropped on me. Like
both of us. I was just trying to get a damn guy to sign a lease over here, and I'm coming back. I see patrol cars in my dang house.
He arrived while they were there. He was calm, cool, and collective. I'm here to help.
We literally had their kids, her kids, for summers. You know, summer at a time, and then, you know, weekends. All of them. If we knew where she was at, we would have been the first ones to grab her ass and bring her over.
Yeah, exactly.
We're posting stuff on our Facebook trying to find her the same way they are.
He did not know anything. He didn't have any involvement. Even his wife, was defending him and that he would never do anything to harm IS.
So I'm gonna tell you, with regards to this here, do I think my husband is capable of any of this? No, I don't. But I don't. We have a missing piece of the puzzle.
Police tell the couple they have a warrant to search the house.
You got free reign.
I'll hang out here. They'll go in and look.
Okay, that's cool.
And then we'll take it. We'll go from there. So you guys hang tight for me?
Yeah, it's not a problem.
Naomi and John say, hey, search our house, do what you need to do, look through, because, she's not here. We have nothing to do with it.
You got all the rooms?
Yeah.
Okay, so
the backyard.
Yeah, let's look at the back. Let's look at the backyard? That's right. Sure.
Even one of the officers found it kind of funny because Jonathan's sitting there, he's like, hey, come on in, whatever you guys need. You want something to eat? You want something to drink? And he's inviting him in like he's one of the family.
But Quiles and his wife do admit that Iyana's mom voiced her concerns about Quiles' contact with her daughter since she found the document on her laptop.
Once that all happened, we got blocked completely from having any communication.
But then the girl said, well, we can't speak with you now because we blocked. Mama said to block you, so we got to wait until this passes over. So, the same, but it's not uncommon.
Yeah, this has happened before, and then they come and they'll stay, a week, weekends over here at the house.
It seems like the relationship was a little more complicated than anyone initially thought. Then, the couple makes another statement that seems to catch officers by surprise.
So while talking about, do you know any items that are missing of IS's? Well, the wife had stated when she left, she took a lot of her Victoria's Secret undergarments.
Johnathan Quiles is even more specific.
Oh yeah, her 38 pair, indicating that she had taken 38 pairs of Victoria's Secret undergarments with her. How someone in a family relationship would know that is obviously very odd.
As cooperative as Quiles has been, officers sense something is off.
She said that she knows who the father was, but she ain't saying.
Oh, she did know?
Yeah, she knows who the father of her child was. And but then you can't really take anything that she's saying serious because now that she's been gone, I question literally everything.
Police there wanting to talk to John about, have you had a sexual relationship with Iyana? And so it's just, they were investigating him, at least trying to find out.
When Quiles was brought in for questioning, he acted like you would expect. He denied everything, said he didn't know anything, and he lamented the fact that his niece was missing.
December 27, 2018, about a week after 16-year-old Iyana Sawyer, or IS, disappeared. It's especially concerning because she's pregnant. Police have brought in her uncle, Johnathan Quiles, for an interview. They press him about the diary his niece wrote that indicates the two had sexual relations. He denies any inappropriate contact and has even provided his DNA to police.
You guys took my DNA at the house. I don't have nothing to hide. You are looking at the wrong person. I have nothing to do with that girl disappearing whatsoever.
They don't arrest him that day. They detain him, they talk to him, but then they release him.
However, Quiles has raised enough suspicions that a few days later, police turn the investigation over to homicide detective Abbott, who immediately processes the DNA Quiles provided.
It was submitted to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement here, and a rush was put onto it because what we had learned was that a sexual assault kit involving IS had been submitted back in March of 2018, and there was unknown DNA.
The results showed DNA from neighbor Kamar Humphrey, which was expected since he and Iyana had had a relationship, but the unknown DNA was additional. Could it be her Uncle John's?
Well, on January 7th, 2019, a shock came. Johnathan Quiles' DNA was on IS's panties. Complete, utter shock. It only heightened that Johnathan Quiles was definitely a person of interest. Then a bombshell hit. A phone call comes in to the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. That individual identified himself as Joseph Quiles, Johnathan Quiles' brother. And oh boy, did he have a story to tell. Johnathan Quiles had called his brother. He stated it was either December 19th, 2018 or December 20th, 2018, that his brother was frantic, stating that this girl might be pregnant, it might be mine, and I have to get rid of the body. Joseph Quiles then stated his brother hung up the phone. However, sometime later, he called back, calmer, not upset, not nervous, said he had taken care of it.
When Joseph asks his brother to explain, Quiles reportedly gets surprisingly specific.
Johnathan Quiles tells his brother that he lured her to his work in an area where no video surveillance, no other workers, it's loud, and he went to strangle her, but he couldn't stomach it. So he shot her. He then put her body in a dumpster, and then it's done. He now can move on, and his life won't be ruined.
His brother was like, I don't believe my brother did this, but it made me feel very uneasy that if I didn't call and report it and something had happened, that it would haunt him.
Armed with this shocking new information, Detective Abbott and a colleague from Special Assault bring Quiles back in for another interview.
How are you?
How you doing? I've had better days.
I know, right?
Yeah.
There's been a lot happened we need to talk about, okay?
At this time, Detective Billy Abbott has spoken to Joseph Quiles, and now he is looking at this closer to a homicide investigation.
The girls would come over to your house and you do like trips to the beach.
Yeah,
to the
we always went to the pool. We had the pool we had at the house.
They would stay the night. They'd spend time
they'll
at your
spend
house, and there was
the whole
anybody-
summer.
So you're doing all these things with the girls,
No, with all of them.
right? With the kids.
All of the kids.
But,
Yeah,
but then they're accusing you of messing with the girls.
correct. Yeah, and this is they came out with that. They started like real heavy with it when went with that boy across the street and doing all that. That's when it started like really thick.
Johnathan Quiles was trying to do anything and everything to show how it was not him, that it could be this other individual, or she might have had another boyfriend in her life.
So now is missing. She ran away or whatnot. Now here I am sitting in the hot seat because is mentioning me as that I was I'm Mr. Jose.
Okay.
So
Do you know who she ran away with?
I don't. I've been expecting call me, text me, anything. Snapchat me, smoke signal.
Quiles painted himself as the victim himself. He's being unfairly tarnished by this belief he had an inappropriate relationship with his niece.
So if I were to tell you that I found some underwear that had your DNA in it, how would you explain that?
I would say there's no way in shape in any form. Okay. Yeah, there's no way.
So with the case across the street, there was a kit done.
Correct.
And she was wearing specific clothes to include underwear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she told me that was one of her biggest pet peeves, that they took her underwear from her.
Okay. So that's what he's talking about.
That's what I was referring to.
That wasn't my DNA. That I didn't. No way.
It's DNA. Yeah.
I'm not saying you're a monster. I don't think you're a monster at all. Okay? I think maybe they came on to you and things went a little too far. It happens all the time.
What exactly are they accusing me of? What exactly are they saying I did? Okay, well, now they're making suggestions that I'm having the sexual relationship or that I had something to do with her going missing, and I absolutely did not.
Look at her face.
I could look at her face.
They need closure.
I'm not a monster. I had nothing to do with her disappearance. I had nothing to do with her disappearance at all.
So the whole family's off. Is a liar. Your brother who loves you is just crazy. Right? Everyone's just circling Johnathan.
The last I spoke with my brother, he was all bent out of shape. And I'm like, hold on, bro. You got this all twisted. I didn't do nothing. I have no idea what the hell happened with this young lady. Any of that. So
then how did he have all those details?
I don't know how he had all those details. I'm sorry. I don't know how he had any of those details.
And he said he didn't believe you at first. He thought you were kidding. But it was so detailed.
No. I'm sorry. Nope.
He really is just kind of like, you know what? There's nothing I can do at this point. You've already made up your minds. You haven't looked anywhere else. I'm not the person, but you're convinced that I am.
So, Johnathan, is there anything else you'd like to say?
There's nothing else I would like to say.
Okay. Then at this point, I'm going to place you under arrest for sexual battery. It's a first-degree felony. So if you'll stand up and turn around and face the wall, place your hands behind your back.
Now, Johnathan Quiles is the #1 suspect in the disappearance of IS and now the murder of IS and her unborn child.
You been praying, bro? Huh? You been praying? I haven't stopped praying. I've been praying this whole time. You have to forgive me? I can forgive you.
Johnathan Quiles is being held at the Duval County Jail on charges of sexual battery in connection with the disappearance of his niece, Iyana Sawyer, or IS. When police interviewed Quiles, he denied any wrongdoing, but Detective Abbott has gathered some powerful evidence against him, including DNA and a confession Quiles apparently made to his own brother. Now, Abbott decides to see what else he can gather, this time from inside the jail.
Detective Abbott, through his partners and his homicide team, they were able to get into contact with some other inmates. One of the inmates then was wired up, and through the instructions that Detective Abbott and his homicide team had given this inmate was, see what Johnathan Quiles will tell you.
Just 2 days later, the detective's plan seems to pay off.
You did good by doing it, getting rid of the body and all that. Why were they pointing fingers at you? Because of my brother. Now why did you kill her though? If you didn't think she was gonna tell, or you just felt like it was gonna hit the fan and later on.
Yeah, she was 16 when she came off that she was pregnant. There's a possibility that was mine.
When Johnathan starts talking, he doesn't know how to stop, and he just keeps going. His biggest flaw is he's a chatterbox.
When you saw that, wherever the...
It was over at the job. It was loud over there.
Oh, you shot at the job and left there overnight?
It was loud at the job over there.
This girl would have jumped out, screamed anything. So what about the cameras?
The camera system. It's like everything is blurry, nothing is focused. And that's the thing, the cameras do work, but they suspect. And H people part, there's so many spots you could throw over the gate.
I guess maybe you shouldn't have. You did the right thing, because you probably be in a worse situation than she was in.
The challenge with jailhouse snitches is that you could have some doubts, well, he's just bragging in prison because he wants to have some street cred there. But his words are his words. And when you compare that to his own brother's comments and Miss Sawyer's younger sister's words that Jose was Johnathan, now the evidence is really starting to pile up.
After Detective Abbott reviews this audio recording, the determination was, I gotta get to Ace Pickle part. I gotta make sure that we get that video surveillance.
Ace Pick-Apart, You Pull It, is the auto salvage yard where Johnathan Quiles works. Video surveillance from December 19th, the day Iyana disappeared, could answer a lot of questions and confirm or deny Quiles' statements.
Surveillance video showed that Mr. Quiles left his work around the time when the niece went missing from school, so he could have left from work to go pick up Miss Sawyer, but there's no clear-cut evidence of that because he had an alternate explanation. He was leaving for work purposes. It was his lunch break. And there is no specific video that shows Mr. Quiles with Miss Sawyer around that time.
Johnathan said that he was asked to go up to Fastenal, up near the airport, to pick up some parts. If he went and picked up IS, how could he be all the way up near the airport, which is over 30 minutes away? He can't be over at Terry Parker High School picking her up.
However, authorities allege that Quiles drove to an area of the yard that had no cameras and was off limits to most employees, where he purportedly shot Iyana. Investigators pieced together what happened next from the wiretap recording.
Got shot.
Not in the way?
Went to the gun range the same day.
Police end up finding his signature on the sign-in sheet at the range and the gun in his closet.
He went to the gun range and shot the gun. The only thing I can think of about that statement is maybe he thought some forensic evidence could show that the gun had been recently shot.
If that was Quiles' plan, it seems like it worked.
There's no blood evidence, there's no DNA, there's nothing on your gun. And it's alleged that he shot her at close range, like in the heart even. The physical evidence didn't line up with what we were expecting to see.
Investigators check every vehicle in the yard and find no trace of Iyana.
So what police had was a theory that he shot Miss Sawyer and then dumped her body in a dumpster that was quickly removed. But there was a lack of physical evidence here.
Based on what Quiles has said, Detective Abbott follows up on the dumpster.
Detective Abbott learns on December 20th, 2018, All American Garbage picks up the container. It went to Otis Road landfill. So Detective Abbott then makes contact with the Otis Road landfill.
The sheriff's office spent over $1.5 million over 3 weeks to go through and excavate this landfill. It was almost 80 feet deep. The tons and tons of trash that was moved, even by their own account, was monumental in nature. And they found nothing over a 3-week period of time.
They couldn't find anything that directly tied Mr. Quiles to Miss Sawyer's disappearance. They found some articles of clothing that they thought were Miss Sawyer's, but the sizes were a little different. It was some Victoria's Secret clothing, and it could have been her clothing, especially as she was carrying a baby, but it's not 100% clear to law enforcement that they've got the goods.
With no physical evidence, the question is whether the evidence investigators do have is enough to indict Johnathan Quiles in the murder of his niece and her unborn child.
You have Miss Sawyer's younger sister saying that Mr. Quiles was Jose. You also have Mr. Quiles' own brother saying that Quiles confessed to him. And you also have wiretaps now.
On July 18th, 2019, about 6 months after Iyana Sawyer disappeared, investigators send Johnathan Quiles' case to a grand jury.
And thinking about, well, what kind of charges are we going to do? Well, ultimately, it was decided that we were going to do first-degree murder. And the reasons why we were going to do those particular charges, and also in the state of Florida, we can do that for an unborn child. So we knew there was going to be 2 counts for that.
The list of evidence the detectives present pays off.
We met with the grand jury today on your case as well as several others, and you are being indicted on first-degree murder. The 3rd count is going to be sexual battery. Okay? We need to advise you of that.
Okay.
All right. We would like to talk to you if you're willing to speak with us.
I have an attorney that's representing me. She doesn't want me to talk to nobody without her being present.
Considering the charges that he was facing, he had good spirits. He was pretty confident in how he spoke and very clear, concise. We talked about a lot of the alternative explanations or alternative options, alternative suspects.
After the grand jury indictment, Johnathan Quiles' case doesn't go to trial.
The whole truth, nothing but the truth? I do. All right, sir, so you're charged with an indictment. Count 1 is murder in the first degree, count 2 is murder in the first degree, count 3 is sexual battery.
Johnathan Quiles' trial begins on September 14th, 2023 in Jacksonville, Florida's Duval County Courthouse. He pleads not guilty to all 3 counts against him in the murder and sexual battery of his pregnant niece, Iyana Sawyer, whose body has never been found, and her unborn child.
If you're found guilty of any one of those charges, there is the possibility that you can spend the rest of your natural-born life in prison. Do you understand that? I do.
And the death penalty is also on the table.
The girl might be pregnant. I can't lose my family if she has the baby. I have to get rid of the body. She was 16. Did you shoot her? Did you shoot her in the head? Heart.
Once they heard everything, that puzzle was built, that picture was painted, that they would know beyond every reasonable doubt that the defendant, Johnathan Quiles, killed his family member because he could not let the world know that he fathered an underage juvenile child.
The defense responds, telling the jury, not so fast.
If Mr. Quiles is the one that committed this crime, there will be no direct evidence to say that he did. You will not hear it.
Investigating and looking through the evidence that the state had gathered, the glaring issue again and again was the lack of physical evidence that they had.
There will be no DNA to say he's the father. They will not be able to prove that Johnathan Quiles is in fact the father of the unborn child. They don't have a body. Therefore, we believe they cannot meet their burden of premeditated murder. And therefore, we believe there will be reasonable doubt.
The biggest challenge for prosecutors is that we're living in a time when people expect to see DNA, direct evidence via video, and if you don't have a body, you don't have a murder weapon, and your case is largely circumstantial, it's tough to convince juries that you should send this person to jail for life or even the death penalty.
The state of Florida is banking on a strong slate of witnesses, along with purported admissions of guilt made by Johnathan Quiles himself to his brother and jailhouse informants. Naomi Mobley, Iyana's aunt and Johnathan Quiles' now ex-wife, at whose home Iyana spent so much time, testifies. She says she was initially defensive when her sister said Johnathan was behaving inappropriately with their niece, but when her sister showed her Snapchats between the two, she changed her tune.
What, if anything, did you do thereafter?
I told him at that time that he needed to stop speaking with my nieces and he needs to give my family space. I said that it looks really bad and he needs to distance himself.
Did you learn thereafter whether or not he stopped speaking and or communicating?
I learned after that he did in fact continue speaking with them.
So what are we looking at in State 64?
These are the messages from Snapchat.
The Snapchats from Johnathan Quiles in the months leading up to Iyana's disappearance were sometimes sexually explicit and even seemingly threatening.
9/4/2018, 9:27. I'm very aggravated right now. I'm going to hit you later. 9/7/2018, 12:21. Yeah, so I need you to be like 100% with me at all times. I'm just so in love with you. I'll kill you and cry.
There was a change in his behavior after she went missing. Prior to that, he was fidgety and nervous. He was restless. After she went missing, then he slept like a baby.
Quiles' brother Joseph also gives emotional testimony about his conversations with Johnathan. As evidenced by their phone records, they talked 4 times between December 18th and 20th, 2018, the time period of Iyana's disappearance. Joseph could tell his brother wasn't acting like himself.
His demeanor was a little off. It was kind of like he was nervous or a little panicky about something.
Have you heard your brother sound panicky to you on previous occasions?
No, he was more concerned about what is he going to do with the young lady in question. That she might be pregnant, and what is he going to do? He doesn't want to ruin his family and mess up what he has already going on.
In their last conversation, Johnathan Quiles seemingly finally came clean about what exactly he did on December 19th, 2018. He'd picked up Iyana from school, telling her they would run away and be together.
He had her sitting in a vehicle, waiting. He tried to strangle her. It didn't work out. He couldn't stomach it. And so then he later went and shot her in the chest. And then he proceeded to discard the body by transporting it into a dumpster and destroying the vehicle.
Now, Mr. Quiles, were you surprised by what he told you?
Absolutely.
On December 20th, Joseph wrote his brother a heartfelt text, which the prosecutor reads in court.
I can't talk to you right now. I have to stay firm on my decision. What you told me isn't some joke or something you like about. So yes, I told the police because they needed to know. I'm sorry I have to do the right thing for that girl and her family, not the right thing for you and your selfishness. I hate to lose you, but I'd rather that the girl's family have some peace. If you're innocent, then you don't need to worry and they won't find her body. But if you're not, they're going to find her. And in that case, I already lost my brother.
Prosecutors argue Johnathan Quiles had also told his story to jailhouse informants, including an inmate who, ironically, Quiles met in a Bible study group.
Tell this jury what he said to you.
So, he pulled his gun out and shot her.
What, if anything, did he tell you with what he did with her once he shot her?
Once he shot her, he threw her body in the dumpster.
You shot her, how you killed her? You don't mind me asking, I'm just blunt.
Yeah, I know.
I know you don't really want to talk about it. It's all going to be able to get rid of the body.
See, I dump garbage over at the landfill and be buried under like 3 feet of garbage.
When the inmate had testified and we played that wire, we no longer had to say, this is what Johnathan Quiles said, believe the state of Florida. It was listen to him himself.
You could watch the jurors' reaction of Johnathan on that wire and what he said and how he said it. You could literally watch the jurors change the entire demeanor of how they felt about the case. 8 out of the 12 jurors, almost in unison, turned their heads, looked right at us, and you could just read the look on their faces like, you're done.
Leave the jury find the defendant guilty of first-degree murder as charged in the indictment. Verdict count 2. Leave the jury find the defendant guilty of first-degree murder as charged in the indictment. Verdict count 3. Leave the jury find the defendant guilty of engaging in an act that constitutes sexual battery.
If he hadn't started talking, if he hadn't done that, there was more than enough reasonable doubt if his own words hadn't walked them through it for the state.
after almost 5 years of living and breathing IS's case, getting to know IS, seeing IS's picture every day in my office, the best words ever were heard: guilty.
As the case reaches the penalty phase, the question the jury will deliberate next is whether Johnathan Quiles should be sentenced to life in prison or death.
Johnathan Quiles is now a 2-time convicted murderer. Each of you know the horrendous facts that occurred in this case. Each of you did justice when you convicted the defendant beyond a reasonable doubt of premeditated murder of IS and the premeditated murder of IS's unborn child. And we'll ask you all to render a vote of death.
State of Florida did hope that they would come back and recommend death. That's why we sought it to begin with, given the totality of the evidence in this case.
The defense had hoped for a different outcome.
We're asking you to save his life. Does he deserve it? You probably don't think so. But is there something there worth saving? Is there something there that would make you all come back and say life without the possibility of parole is appropriate? We were able to put on witnesses, his family, a psychologist that evaluated him, to humanize him, really, at the end of the day, to make it so that you could understand that this is a life worth saving.
The jury is decisive once again.
We, the jury, find Johnathan Quiles should be sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
It was disappointing. However, we respect the process of our system, and ultimately we were just beyond ecstatic that they had found guilty verdicts.
When they came back for life, that was the biggest sigh of relief. I really felt like at that point, that was the best thing that we could do for him as his attorneys, was to save his life. That was a huge win for us.
Ultimately, our judge did 3 consecutive life sentences. So, State of Florida, on behalf of IS, her unborn child, and the family, felt that justice had been served, the truth had been sought, and it had been seen and shown.
Wearing a t-shirt bearing the name of Iyana's unborn daughter, Hazel, her mom reflects on her loss.
Iyana was full of life and wanted to do so many things. She wanted to be a pediatrician. I thought about being a lawyer. To my mom, she was going to be a lawyer because she could talk her way out of almost anything. She was everything you could ask for in a daughter. We were so close. She was my first love.
It was a case that was beyond different than anything I had experienced as a prosecutor. You get to know IS through her death. You get to know her unborn child. You get to know her family. She is a part of me.
I would never hear her say, "I love you." I would never receive another FaceTime from her while I'm at work. I thank God for the 16 years that I was able to spend with her. Until we meet again, I love you forever.
Yes, the jury found the right person accountable. However, IS is forever gone. Not only just forever gone, she's forever 16.